G'day guys, Jesse here. Welcome back to the True Footy YouTube channel. Hope you guys are all doing well in this COVID-19 crazy world. Obviously a lot of us are not at work. We're either self-isolating or for whatever reason, we're just sticking at home. I can imagine a lot of you are like me and are absolutely starved for some football action. So in today's video, I'm going to be taking a look back at the 2018 Grand Final and watching it along with you and reacting to it. As you should know by now, I am a very passionate West Coast Eagles fan, so this day was probably one of the greatest days of my life. I was actually in attendance at the MCG. I bought the tickets after we beat Richmond in round 9. Such was my confidence, but I remember it was a really cold, blustery Melbourne day, and I was really worried it was going to rain because I thought that was going to play against us. Thankfully, the weather held up, and as of course you would know, we got one of the greatest grand finals we've ever seen. So like I said, I'm just going to open up the highlights on the AFL YouTube channel and watch along with you and relive what an awesome day it was. So let's take a look. I'm going to hit play. So at this point, I am like behind side bottom. That's where I'm sitting in the stadium. I remember the atmosphere was crazy. It actually felt there was like a lot of Eagles fans at the stadium until Collingwood got a goal, and it was like around about now, that's when I realised exactly how many Collingwood fans outnumbered the Eagles. That was a brilliant goal, just sort of like the qualifying final. I remember Barco got the first goal of that as well. Or maybe not the first goal, it was Collingwood's first goal. But it was a really good goal. I don't want to say fluky goal like I'm on great, like I'm in like a sore sport, but that, I mean, that was a brilliant goal, but man, definitely a bit of luck there. Yeah, so Collingwood were kind of all over us at this point, but I kind of felt like we weren't playing that badly. Oh, Stevenson with the Jets. Gee whiz. He is a good forward. I remember thinking like, those goals weren't necessarily the result of bad Eagles play. It was just really talented play from Collingwood.
So they work the game that Richo talked about earlier.
From memory, this is a bad kick from Hearn, a very rare bad kick. It's quite rare that he doesn't weight his kicks properly.
It's a slow handball, that's better. Gets to Thomas, and then Thomas is
Oh, here we go.
touched on the way through to go.
See, this is just not defendable. Like, that is just pure talent. That was an outrageous goal. All of De Goey's goals that day were unbelievable. And yes, as you can imagine, I was a little bit nervous at this point, thinking this was going to be just like 2015, where I was actually at that game as well.
Deep inside the Collingwood 50 at the moment. He stands in the middle of all the one-on-ones. There he is. Great shot. Looking to cut off anything that comes. Here's Adams. They spear a wide.
That was a good kick. Pretty hard to defend. Very good kick. Hits a 50 than that. And this is, again, this is an arsey goal. Like, a great kick. Like, full credit to him, but unbelievable. At this point, I'm feeling like, should I go home? Not quite literally, but of course, like, horrible flashbacks to 2018. I don't think I'd said a word yet.
Quickly, and in the end it goes to Kennedy, but a lot of troops had arrived by the time they got it in there. Langdon,
this was such an important piece of luck. That was so important in hindsight. Just the or not even in hindsight, just to get a bit of momentum back. If that had been touched through, you know, I feel like the next few minutes would have been different. The mindset of the Eagles would have dropped a little bit. So only 2 goals down at this stage. You can't really complain. Oh, baby. Gee, Maynard had a rough day, didn't he? That was an awesome contest from little Liam Ryan.
Now Stevenson is inside.
Here we go.
Good mark. He's such a rangy athlete, isn't he?
I said couldn't go, but Hoskin Elliott's effort to get there was the only reason. Well done. Great work rate. My check did well.
How do you leave De Goey on his own from that range? Oh. See, it was deafening, the Collingwood roar at this point. It felt like shit. It's amazing that the players just didn't drop their bundles, because it's so intimidating. Oh, lucky bounce. But we did pretty well here. Great kick by Jetta. Here we go. We've got some overlap here. We can breathe a sigh of relief, but the scoreboard still looks pretty rough. Well done, Hutch.
And that's what they've done a little bit better, the one percenters, the Pies.
I do feel like after conceding the first 5, the Eagles are coming
Fantastic. What a goal. Shuey, my boy. That is such an important clearance. I hope they show the replay here, but the tap from Vardy to Sheed, no they won't, but the tap from Vardy to Sheed, the quick hands to Shuey, the two best players on the field for us. Unbelievable. Ooh, good spoil Barras. Needed that ball to go out of bounds. Unlucky. Unlucky. How do we let Mason Cox take a mark inside 50? What a joke. I'm really not a fan of Mason Cox. That really burned.
Wanting it long, it's coming his way. Got a good run and jump at it here, Kennedy. Big back.
Go on, boys. Oh, Rioli's such an important player. He's one of the only players we have that is just magic like that. I miss him.
They're good one-on-one players, the Riolis. We know their
Man,
history.
at this point, 6 points behind. That was huge.
Grundy got a good bounce. Doesn't kick it all that well. Gets it to about 45 metres.
Ooh. Cub dropped it.
Can Varco get it to Degoe? Not quite. Adams.
Oh, that's a good goal. He's a good player, Tyler Adams. That stung, but it was a very, very good sweep and goal.
McGovern, little one over the top to Kennedy. He's pursued by Goldsack. Stewie, real quick handball giveaway.
Oh, look away kick. Oh, Darling did well that quarter. This is where he really lifted.
Goldsack in there. Kennedy there. Ryan bundled it out.
Kind of dropped that.
Handball comes out in the way of Lysette. He's got a chance to look at the
Now, I wonder if Lysette was having a shot there or passing. Either way, Darling made it look very good. That was a brilliant contested mark. It was a huge quarter from Darling. Unbelievable player. Oh, yeah. There is absolutely no chance that Stevenson was getting to that. That was a shank of a kick. You'd feel terrible if you're Alex Woodward, but yeah, it was always going to be a mark.
West Coast in front for the first time.
Go on, Yoey.
Stages of the opening term.
Boom! I was not far. I was right behind that. Look at the expression on his face. That's a guy that was having a shit day up until that point, and that pressure release was awesome. First time we hit the front.
3 great quarters of football. Do we get a classic finish?
All even at 3/4 time. My God.
Cox with one hand.
Myercheck is a stupidly good footballer. I can't put my finger on it. Like, you don't look at him and think, oh, that's a good footballer, but he's so good. This was like in 06, actually, where the Swans started the last quarter like this. Almost from that range, I remember, unbelievable goal from Degoe, but Goods kicked one like that at the start of the 4th in 06 against the Eagles, and I was sitting behind the goals then too. At that point, I was like, the momentum's too hard to overturn, but these Eagles continue to amaze me. Good pluck from Vardy, crucial. We just always had a response, which is awesome. Oh, too tall. Too tall. It was a good grab. Full credit. It's a good grab. See, I can do it, says BT. This is a goal that doesn't get talked up enough. Great pass for a start. Unbelievably well weighted. But yeah, that doesn't even make the highlights reel. Kennedy kicks a belter. Here we go. The most famous passage of Eagles history. Brilliant kick from McGovern, by the way. Huge effort. Huge effort. 50 metres against Langdon every day of the week, by the way. Not that anyone mentions that. Maybe it's a stretch, but a little bit. Well done. Good block, Willie. I had no expectation on this kick. I was just silent. Oh, I think I was happy. I was a little worried Sheed had played on, but when you watch it back, I don't think he plays on. Had no idea about a block. Had no perception of that at the stadium. But I was thinking just behind, lock it in, and will, lock it in their 50 again and just force a stoppage after stoppage and eventually get a shot on goal.
Was Maynard blocked out of that one?
Massive.
Huge moment.
Sheed from the boundary. Needs to be inch perfect.
Unbelievable.
He's got the
Best kick of his life. I was so surprised. I literally burst into tears at that moment. I put my arms around my dad and I was like, I can't do this. I think he thought I was probably nervous, but for me at that point, I had the belief we were going to win.
We've got a brand new stadium, a big one, and they're going to put a big flag up there in a moment.
Not the best commentary.
The Eagle has landed. They're the premiers in 2018.
There was a time where I couldn't watch this footage without crying. Probably like 50 watches it took me. I feel so bad for Main in particular. I don't know why. I guess because he's bawling his eyes out, but at the latter end of his career, never won a flag. As an Eagles fan, I'm not actually sure whether or not it was a better game than 06. I think 06 is probably the best grand final I've ever seen, but again, blue and gold goggles on, I'm a little bit biased there. But what an unbelievable achievement from that Eagles side. Obviously, McGovern for a start played with a lung full of blood. A kidney full of blood, which is unbelievable. Can't imagine anyone being able to get up and do that and play a game like he did, and being crucial in that last sort of passage of play as well. 2018 was such a rough year for the Eagles. They had so much adversity, but it's a sign of a great club who can overcome that. Obviously, no Gaff, Shepherd or Nat Nui in that final series. Kennedy and Darling spent chunks of the year out of the team, and Shuey, I think, had a 4 or 5 week hammy injury as well. Prior to that point, the Eagles were so reliant on these players, but after that, or in that year rather, the system was so strong that, we played well whether they were playing or not. So, unbelievable. By far and away, my happiest 2 minutes I've ever spent on earth. Spent it crying silently, absolutely dizzy. Yeah, it's just an unbelievable experience, and I've had 2 flag wins in my life. 18's better than 06 for me in terms of how much it meant to me, because I was obviously a 24-year-old versus a 12-year-old. It meant a little bit more after waiting 12 years the second time to see it. So anyway, that will go down as one of the great grand finals, guys. Let me know in the comments, though, if you're not an Eagles fan, what you thought was the best grand final you've ever seen. For me, obviously, I think the Eagles are a good chance to go back and do it all again in 2020. Not like the favourites, but they're a good chance. But it's a weird feeling lurking around that, what if they play in front of an empty stadium? Would it really mean as much? I don't think so. I don't think it would be quite as good. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you're new, like the video, and I will see you somewhere soon on YouTube. Cheers.